Good morning. I'm Shirley Blakely, and I'm pleased to welcome you to this 2014 FDA JIFSAN Food and Nutrition webinar. We are the Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, located on Paint Branch Parkway in College Park. We also have a second building located across the parking lot from us that is called University Station, which houses two of our program offices, the Office of Cosmetics and Colors and the Office of Food Additive Safety. We are pleased this year that JIFSAN is our co-sponsor for the webinar. JIFSAN is the Joint Institute for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, affiliated with the University of Maryland and jointly affiliated with FDA. We're also pleased that our key star from JIFSAN is Kyle McKillop. I want to acknowledge his contribution to this year's webinar as co-sponsors. He manages the information technology team, and they are located at 5201 Paint Branch Parkway, just behind our Wiley building. Our JIFSAN program offices, as I mentioned earlier, JIFSAN is the Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition. We have 11 program offices, as you can see on the screen. I have highlighted the program offices from which speakers will be presenting today. We have the Office of Food Safety, which the speaker will be speaking on chemical contaminants program. The Office of Analytics and Outreach, where the speakers will be discussing consumer research. Office of Colors and Cosmetics, you will hear from tomorrow. And also tomorrow you will hear from members from the Office of Food Additive Safety. And then many of the speakers are from the Office of Nutrition, Labeling, and Dietary Supplements. Our previous webinar was held in 2012, and we were pleased that we had FDA experts who gave us presentations on their topics of expertise, and this year is no exception. We'll have expert speakers. We're also offering up to 7 continuing professional education credits for the entire webinar. Just a little bit of background information for this webinar. In the announcement, we sent out a link to prerequisite information for this year's webinar. And that is because we have a lot of background information archived on the JIFSAN website. If you are new to FDA or you're new to the FDA regulatory and processes activities, then these prerequisites would be very useful for you. The first one listed, the first bullet is Introduction to FDA and the Food and Nutrition Regulatory Process. And there you will find information about how FDA gets its regulatory authority to carry out its programs. The second bullet talks about an overview of food labeling. And as you know, in this webinar, food labeling will be threaded throughout many of the presentations. So having background information is very important. In addition, we have our consumer education program archived for you, as well as the international activities within the foods program. And finally, if you've ever wanted to report an adverse event to FDA, our MedWatch program is the place to go. So you will find that information archived at the link listed on this slide. Our overall objective for this webinar is to provide updates on topics that you may have already heard about before. In addition, we have some new topics that we did not present in the older webinar, so you will find the new information in those topics as well. So today's webinar will start out with the proposed rule of the nutrition and supplement facts, as well as proposed rule for serving sizes, and we'll have information on labeling claims or label claims. Following those 3 presentations, we'll take a 15-minute break, and we will alert you when the break comes. If you have the agenda which you received in advance, it is consistent with what's on your agenda. And then following the break, we'll have discussions of infant formula and medical foods. We have a new presentation entitled New Advice for Eating Fish During Pregnancy, and we'll wrap up the day with the Nutrition Consumer Research Program at FDA. I will serve as moderator. We will have a time at the end of each presentation for questions and answers. And again, the presentations will be recorded and archived on the JIFSAN website. For each of you who registered, you will receive an announcement for the recorded presentations shortly after the webinar is over. Again, my name is Shirley Blakely. I want to welcome you to this 2014 Food and Nutrition webinar, and our next presentation will come up shortly.